Okay. Und we are live, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Two Captains, One Pod.
Got a pod we're in? You decide.
We are talking about Picard, supposedly this captain that's going to exist in the next 80 years, and
Supposedly.
then be great for Starfleet, supposedly. And then, but not even that. That we're not even talking about his time there. No. We're talking about after he's a retired admiral, he's going to save the world again. And then for another time, and then in season 3 he'll do it a third time because this guy just does not. He can't get his rocks off unless he's saving the world. Clearly,
He doesn't know the meaning of the word retirement.
Well,
Exactly.
at least after Star Trek First Contact, anyway. He can't get his rocks off without saving the world.
It is an absolute love letter. At least the third season, the third and final season, is an absolute love letter to what was TNG, the group that revitalized Star Trek, that kept it going, and the ship that people loved oh so dearly. Third season, obviously the best season.
Obviously.
First season was a slow start, but once you realized the direction of the first season, I enjoyed it. After that, second season, I enjoyed the hell out of that. I thought it was a great, kind of look back into what the current time looks like in Starfleet's history.
Right.
And then of course, young Guinan in the second season, getting Guinan back, Whoopi Goldberg back in the second season, and then Q coming back in season 2, loved it. And then of course the third season, we're getting all of them. We're getting all of them in the third season. The entire TNG crew, plus a couple extras, and the D. I wish it had gone longer, honestly. And the director for this show should direct every other Star Trek show moving forward. Personally,
Absolutely.
but Carter,
Yeah,
you have.
It's funny because... Go ahead.
Well, you have just watched it, finished it all in 3 days, a season a day, more or less. So your thoughts, your very new thoughts.
Coming into it, I've never actually seen Picard up until when I started watching it. I didn't watch it when it came out because I was never that massive fan of Picard, so it didn't interest me all that much.
Mm-hmm.
Having gone back and watched it now, I do like the way that they did some of the stuff. I like a lot of the head nods back to some of the older Trek shows as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was just reading an article yesterday, I think, where it was actually kind of funny. It was his agent, Patrick Stewart's agent, called him and said, "Hey, I've got 2 directors that are wanting you to come back for another Star Trek to do Picard again." And he actually said to his agent, "No, thank you, I'm good."
Mm-hmm.
Hung up the phone, and then 15 minutes later called his agent back and said, "Set up the meeting. I'll see what they have to say, but I'm not giving any confirmation." And within 30 minutes of him sitting down and talking to these 2 people, he said, "All right, let's do it."
Yeah, I remember hearing about that, reading about that myself, and it's crazy to think that Patrick Stewart, up until Picard happened, it was crazy to think that Patrick Stewart would even come back to Trek, considering he has tried his damnedest to distance himself from Jean-Luc Picard for 30 years. You know,
Yeah.
and that's
So
look.
here's
I
the
have my
actual
own
article.
quarrels. I have my own quarrels with that because personally, I think Patrick Stewart is a phenomenal actor in his own right. But Star Trek put him on the map.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't think he would have had the career that he had without Star Trek. I don't think there would be Professor X in his life without Star Trek. And I use Professor X because that's another role he's been coming back to and more open to come back to than he has been with Trek. I mean, granted, you know, when we look at the movie Logan, it was to kill Professor X.
Well, and then you had him in Multiverse of Madness.
Right.
That you had that train wreck, but
Yeah.
but now he'll be returning for Avengers Doomsday, and yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, he's clearly willing to play Professor X. You know, so I don't understand the gripe against Trek. You know, like, I mean, I can, but I can't. You know, again, this is what puts you out there.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a gripe against Trek. I think it was specifically to the fact of Patrick Stewart is one of the older generation of actors. He knows when a role has run its limit.
Right.
And in his mind, when they first proposed this, we're looking at a whole new generation of Trek fans. Yes,
Yeah.
you're gonna get those ones that were raised on the Trek, kind of like we were, you know, but it's to bring in new blood. A lot of these people nowadays that are coming into watching, you know, Strange New Worlds, they're watching, for lack of anything else, Discovery, things like that. None of these people have ever heard of Jean-Luc Picard, of Worf, of Data, of Deanna Troi, Will Riker. They don't know who these people are, so Picard won't mean anything to them because while it's not supposed to be a reunion of the next gen characters, that's pretty much what it ends up being.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be a reunion of them all until season 3.
And season 2 didn't bring in a lot of next gen characters, but they still had those little throwback characters in there, going, you know, with Guinan and Riker and you know, the Tal Shiar. If you've never watched any Star Trek before and you come into Picard, you're gonna have no idea who these people are whatsoever.
Right.
Yeah, you can tell that they're in some way, shape, or form attached to this show, but if for a minute, let's say you have no idea what anything about Star Trek is. You come into Picard and you see him overly ecstatic to meet Riker again and Deanna Troi and see their kid. You're gonna wonder, okay, what's the relationship between these people? How do they know each other? And I think that was the point he was trying to make of, it's time for a new generation to come in. It's time for the old guard to step aside and let the new blood in.
Yeah. You know, I kind of got to agree with that. You know, because again, I look at it as, you know, when Picard was announced, I knew what Picard was. Picard was a grab to get the older fans back. You know, it was okay. 2017. Here is Discovery, and Discovery's numbers were not there. They like the first episode had some of the highest of Trek's views in the last, you know, few years because, well, there hadn't really been Trek before. Had some of the highest streaming numbers of 2017. However, that immediately dropped off after the second episode. And so it was like, how do we get, you know, I know that Picard was, how do we get people back? Let's give them Picard. And, like I said, the first season for me, thinking back on it, and I mean, I hadn't watched it, it's only been about 6 months since I watched it. It's 6 months for the first season, I should say, not the entire show. I finished season 3 maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago.
Yeah, it was about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but that first season was so hard for me to get through because I tried to watch it when it came out. When Picard dropped in 2019, 2020, whatever it was, I tried to watch it. I was like, cool, great, awesome. I'm getting Jean-Luc Picard back. The teaser trailers had shown us Geordi and Data. We were gonna get the crew back, and I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. Let's see what they're up to now. Show me Geordi teaching, engineering at the academy. Show me Jean-Luc Picard, teaching at the academy, or more or less running Starfleet. And that wasn't what we got, which threw me for a loop. Not gonna lie, it threw me for a loop. In that first episode, the first few episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And for the show to be called Picard, to be labeled around Picard, for us to see Picard on Chateau Picard for the first 5 minutes of the show, and then the next hour, we're following this girl whose name we don't know, whose story we don't know. She's being chased, and then at the end of the episode, it gets blown up in front of Picard.
Yep.
I know it's supposed to be a grab, but if you take an hour to set that up, that's what killed it for me. And I don't, I didn't watch it, for a few years. I finally watched it when season 3 came out, and then John had watched all of season 3, told me about it. I was like, okay. And everybody's saying you don't have to watch seasons 1 and 2 of Picard.
You really don't.
Jump into season 3. And I was like, okay, but I still want to watch them. Let me get through them. Because again, I did it with Discovery. I'll do it again with Picard. And again, I enjoyed the second season. I thought it was a great story. I thought it was really cool getting to see the Mirror Universe again.
Mm-hmm.
Getting Jerry
not quite,
Ryan
but
back.
basically.
Yeah. And then altering the timeline, getting to see Q, getting to see some really cool details about the world of Starfleet, of Trek, post Next Generation, post Voyager, post the movies. Because everything else we've seen of Trek up until Starfleet Academy and the last 2 seasons of Deep Space, or not, the last 2 seasons of Discovery, we stopped going forward. We went back in time. Discovery was in between, Pike and Kirk, with a little bit of overlap with Pike. Strange New Worlds is all about Pike. Sure, you can make the, yes, with Lower Decks, we went forward, past Voyager in the movies. But that was an animated show, and not to delegitimize it, by any means. You're only going to get a certain audience with the animated shows.
Well, and even then, I think
there wasn't.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of explanation as far as lore after Next Gen, after Voyager, in Lower Decks. Like you get some snippets here and there of like, oh yeah, like here's Riker and Deanna on the Titan, and yeah. But other than that, you don't get a whole lot.
Right, and then Discovery then goes to the 30th century or the 31st century. Okay, well that's too far fucking forward, so we don't know shit. We're building this world.
I think that's why Discovery did that.
And now Starfleet Academy, 32nd century. We're going even further than Discovery did.
No, it's still the same. Still in the same area as Discovery.
Okay. I thought it was a little bit further. But either way,
because one of the characters on Discovery is a teacher.
Yeah. Okay. But they're going way the fuck out there.
Mm-hmm.
We're still not getting stories of what happens after. And so Picard kind of made that bridge a little bit. But there's still, by the time we get to season 3 of Picard and it ends, there's a lot of questions to be begged. I will say that. There's a lot of questions that beg to be answered at the end of Picard. Because season 1 of Picard, you realize everything's not hunky-dory. They talk about this massive battle in which synthetics, which is, for more or less, a racial slur term used for androids, and why they're banned. We don't, other than the battle, we don't know why that happened.
Oh, the battle is why it happened.
Yeah, but I'm saying what caused them to, for the battle to even happen. Why was Data?
You find that out in season 1. That's how they set up the synthetic ban.
Well, yes, but still, you don't get the complete picture. What I'm saying is, you get puzzle pieces, and you kind of gotta. Which I get is the fun of Star Trek, but at the same time, it's like, no. You set this world up. You've been doing really good with the show. Give me some more. I want to see it.
But even going back to TNG did the same thing with certain things. They didn't give you the story outright. They gave you the bits and pieces that led up to it. That's the whole point of Trek. It's the adventure of figuring out how these things occurred. You're not going to get the whole picture because you're seeing one side of it.
I was about to say, and most of that picture,
we're seeing the aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
But they go back and they explain how as they deal with the aftermath. Okay, what caused this battle with the synthetics to begin with? Well, that was because of this point here. I'm not going to spoil it in case anybody hasn't seen it yet and wants to. But that's the whole thing about it is everything. A lot of the questions that people are asking that I've seen even myself are answered in the first season alone are answered by the end of the first season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But let's get to the second and third seasons. Okay. We know Starfleet is not Starfleet anymore. Okay. It's corrupt now. It's unjust now. And now the answer becomes, okay, there's this infiltrating force. And we know why they're infiltrating. Let's go back to Deep Space Nine, the Dominion War. Okay. They've just taken this time to get stronger and draft a plan, But my question becomes, how the fuck? I mean, with everything that we've gone through with TNG specifically, the amount of times that Starfleet was torn apart because of infiltrating points. How did it happen again? Okay, how did we not learn our lesson?
If I had a nickel for every time that happened, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
Because, but again, that can also be answered. You have to look at, for lack of a better way of saying it, you have to look at the context clues to get the answer there.
Yeah.
We as Starfleet have had this happen before, so we've upped our countermeasures, we've upped our scanners, our sensors, our badges. Everything is now biometric. Biodata. Everything is done via that. But you also have to understand the fact that each time you upgrade your defense, your enemy is going to try and defeat that defense. That's the whole point of having that enemy. You up yours, they up theirs. So there's never going to be a point where Starfleet cannot be infiltrated unless they were to make a drastic change. The way Starfleet's mandate works, it's meant to be an exploratory organization. It's not meant to be militaristic. The only way to completely rule out the possibility of an infiltration unit getting in would be to severely limit who is allowed in and to do such checks that it would no longer be Starfleet. Yeah. Starfleet is about encompassing all cultures, all races, all ethnicities, all genders, everything, to fully insulate themselves from any chance of having an infiltrator come in. They would have to completely and utterly destroy all cultures, and that's not what they're about.
Yeah. Now, speaking of adding cultures, the break between season 2 and season 3 feels like a completely different show. I'm not gonna lie, because the end of season 2, the very last thing is, holy shit, the Borg are joining the Federation, or at least this version of the Borg are joining the Federation. Okay. Which, is an answer to the end of the first season, which we understand that. Season 3 doesn't cover that at all, and that is a little bit upsetting. I will say that. That is a bit upsetting. I want to know what happened. Where are the Borg at in the Federation? Are they going to join the Federation?
No, I will agree with you there, because we don't actually see beyond the Queen, Jurati, asking, we want provisional membership into the Federation. Mm-hmm. We get bits and pieces of, we find out that Starfleet has started integrating Borg technology into certain things.
Right.
They've, there's little bits and pieces, but I feel like they got to that point in the story, and it didn't do as well as they were hoping, and that's why they dropped the story and they brought in a new storyline. But again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about they're trying to bring in new blood. The Borg doesn't hit the same if you haven't seen them before. If you don't know about Picard becoming Locutus, if you don't know about, Battle of 359, if you don't know about any of that, the Borg just looks like another race. Cool, we got another alien species in here. Don't care.
I mean, that's fair. I have to give you that. I understand that. But again, it's just the, because the only confirmation of Borg we get joining Starfleet is Jerry Ryan is officially indoctrinated as a member of Starfleet now. She becomes the spoiler alert here, for the third season, she becomes the second in command, first officer of the Titan A. Fucking what the hell is the name of that class?
Neo Constitution.
Yeah, we'll just call it the
Neo Constitution.
Yeah, that's what everybody's been calling it, the Constitution 3.
We'll just call it the Constitution 3 class, but it starts with like a she whatever.
Yeah,
like
Neo Constitution.
Yeah. So that's but really cool. I love the nod again towards it, towards Riker's ship that he leaves the Enterprise for. But season 3 again had my heart in shambles. Had my emotions in a chokehold. It knew exactly what buttons to press. Going back to the Borg and going back to a Borg cube so fucking massive, in fact, that the Enterprise D can fly through it and into it and not touch anything on either side. Like, okay, look, we've seen something like that before. Let's talk about the enemy for a second. Millennium Falcon flies to the Death Star. One of the coolest shots in Empire Strikes Back.
And Star Trek did it better.
Return of the Jedi. It's one of the coolest shots in Return of the Jedi. And we get ours finally. The Enterprise D flying through a fucking Borg cube. A massive Borg cube that was hidden inside Jupiter because that's the only planet it was big enough to fit into.
Well, and once again, I'll argue that Star Trek did it way fucking better than Star Wars ever did. Don't get me wrong, I love that scene in Return of the Jedi. But I would argue that Star Trek did it about 10 times fucking better and 10 times fucking cooler.
Okay, but also, I mean, you have to argue CGI versus practical.
Granted, but still.
Is it really a battle? you know?
Granted, but still.
You're taking graphics from 2018 versus graphics from 86.
Good point. Yeah. But still. My point.
Not really fair. That's not a very fair comparison. That's like taking the original Doom game versus Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Star Wars fans will never give us the benefit of the doubt anyway, so.
Radically changed.
But, you know, again, the third season was just phenomenal. That moment, are we actually going to lose Picard? I mean, we're getting down to the wire.
Picard, Riker, and Worf.
Yeah. And then Little Picard. Oh, I'm sorry. Jack Crusher.
Little Picard.
You know.
Little
Picard. Oh, Jesus.
Look, y'all can call him Jack Crusher all you want. That motherfucker is Jack Picard, okay? He is Picard's son and will do great things. I loved seeing that very last scene, though, made me cry. The very last scene. Kind of an after-credits scene, kind of not. I mean, they start the credits, and then this happens, and then the credits finish. You know, you have Picard there, of course, now not going by Picard, still going by Crusher. A little lieutenant in Starfleet, and who should appear on his first duty? Who the fuck are you? I'm your dad's best friend. There was porn written about me and your dad years ago, and it's only gotten better as the years progressed. The name's Q. And then he poofs out. Okay, is that what's actually said? No, but god damn it, might as well have been.
Might as well.
You know, it's
at this point it's just kind of inevitable.
I'm your dad's butt buddy, and you and me are gonna have great fun together. I'm your stepdad. Let's go get some candy. Poof, he's gone. Okay.
Oh jeez. Let's go get some fucking candy. He's just pulling up and like he snaps his fingers, a white van appears out of nowhere. Jesus Christ.
But you know, look, I'm sorry. I want to see it. I don't want my imagination to fill in the blanks. Okay? Star Trek still makes comic books. Comic books for Star Trek are still coming out. Give me Jack Crusher and Q as a comic book. Okay, I need it. I want the stories. If we're not going to get a show, I want those in a comic book at the very least.
Which I'm going to say right now, we better be getting a show. If anybody's listening, we better be getting a show, or I'm going to be pissed.
We better be getting a show for sure. The reunion, I think, you know, it's so beautiful because they set it up. You're getting them slowly dripped onto the Titan, little by little.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a slow drip formation until we see Geordi at the museum, and then boom, we get them all. They're all right there. They're ready to go. We're breaking into the museum. Breaking into the museum, grabbing the Enterprise D, and there it is. I mean, the look of the bridge, the rebuild for it. They did their research for the bridge to redo it piece by piece. I will say though, it looked a little bigger. The new bridge looked a little bit bigger than the original, but you know,
I think it is the same size. But I think it's
It can't be any bigger. That's quite literally the original Enterprise D saucer.
Like, I think they used the original blueprints to build that sucker.
Right. But the set feels bigger. That's what it is. It
feels bigger. That makes more sense. Bigger, I'll accept that.
But it feels bigger when we see it.
That makes sense.
And you know what? I'm going to talk about I'm going to chalk it up to I have a bigger TV than I have ever had watching any Star Trek before. I still have not seen next gen on this TV yet. Okay.
You're in
I'm
for a
dealing with the
ride, buddy
55
boy.
inch. Yeah, I'm dealing with the 55-inch TV. This is beautiful. And then also, we don't have all the lackeys in the background on this bridge. It is literally just the base
That's
crew,
another good
the
point.
9.
Yeah, that's
So,
probably why it seems bigger, is because there's less people. You're able to notice
yeah,
more about. But you also have to remember too is what Geordi says is when he brings them on to the, he's bringing them in the shuttle, showing them the Enterprise and everything. He quite literally says, "This is the saucer pulled from
yeah,
the V planet." I can't remember the name of it off the top of
Viridian.
my head at the moment.
Viridian 3.
But that's quite literally the actual Enterprise's bridge that they were on at one point before Deanna crashed
right,
it.
right.
Well, but it like
So it's not.
So, little interesting note. Because in Generations, there's actually more bridge than what was originally there. Geordi restored it to its like TNG seasons, I think like 5 through, or seasons 3 through 7. Because he doesn't restore it to the original Generations bridge. Where it's got like 2 extra stations on either side of the command, whatever the command chairs. So he restores it to its original Next Generation appearance, like I said, seasons 3 through 7.
But either way, it's not a scene does any better in any Trek.
Oh,
My
absolutely.
having watched everything but Starfleet Academy right now, and a couple of the animated shows, my absolute 2 favorite scenes in Trek: the ending of the first episode of TNG, Encounter at Farpoint Part 1, between Data and McCoy. That little sign off.
Mm-hmm.
With the, different ship, but she's got the right name.
Treat her like a
You
lady.
treat her like a lady, she'll always
She'll
bring
always
it home.
bring you home.
Love that. It's such a powerful and emotional moment. Number 2. Number 2 has been, honestly, one of the scenes from Wrath of Khan for the longest time. Watching season 3 of Picard, as they step off the bridge and the light goes out, what Geordi says about her has become my second favorite scene of all of Star Trek.
Take care of her, Geordi. Oh, yes, sir. After all, she's always taking good care of us. As you hear the Generations music swelling in the background, just adds to the emotion of that moment. And just, it hits you in a place you don't expect it to.
Yes. I thoroughly, I love those 2 scenes. Because I think they have that same emotional power. Truthfully, for me personally, they have that same emotional power of, hey, here's the original handing it off to you. Now, hey, here's us giving her rest. She's done everything for us. Now let's let her rest. One last final fucking hoorah. She saves the goddamn universe.
Having watched Chris's reaction to this scene, because he called me at towards the end of the episode. Having watched his reaction to that scene, yeah, he bawled like a little bitch, but I can't blame him. But I just want it noted that he bawled like a little bitch.
I mean, he is a little bitch, so it doesn't really matter.
Hell, target phasers on the Hornet. While you're at it, Transporter Chief, beam our engineer over to the Hornet.
Shocker.
Good luck with that. Let's see how much you can do without a warp.
Good luck beaming him over here. Shields are already up, jackass.
No, I will say, all of it leading up. Um, you know, season 3, I loved Ravi the entire show. I love the character of Ravi the entire show. She just seems like an all-around fun person to be around.
Oh yeah.
Uh, total nutcase. We love her for it.
Well, one thing I do want to add about Star Trek Picard is it gave us 2 of the coolest uniforms I've ever seen. One of them being the one I am usually in.
Mm-hmm.
That is like my second favorite uniform besides, for example, the one Chris is wearing.
Mm.
But I also liked the seasons 2 and 3 Starfleet uniforms. They've got the shoulders, and it's kind of like it's double-breasted. I just like double-breasted jackets in general, but that's me.
I think they could have done a lot better, especially if their throwback uniform in the flashback scenes was the 2399 uniform.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just saying you could have done a little bit better.
I wish they would. I wish they would have just used that uniform throughout the entire series. I would have fucking loved that.
Yes. Or give us the All Good Things uniform as like the current. I love the All Good Things uniform. Need a reason for them to actually make that and bring it out to a store so we can actually wear them.
Or hear me out here. On that season 2 and 3 uniform, swap the colors from the torso to the shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
The black on top and the apartment color down here. That would have looked cool.
But no, having Ravi dealing with her handler the entirety of the beginning of season 3. She's trying to get this thing taken care of, and she can't. She's trying to get in contact with her handler. Handler's like, no. Then here it is. She's about to get fucking killed. She's a goner. She's dead. Sleep. No. Surprise, bitch. He's dead. Who killed him? Her handler. Who's her handler? Fucking Worf.
Son of Moog. House of Martok.
But I will say the funniest thing to me about season 3 was the joke. Like, look, I know they weren't writing it as a joke. They were being serious, but it's a joke to me. Worf being a pacifist.
We're all gonna die.
That shit was funny as hell.
It should be known that I am now a pacifist.
We're all gonna
die.
Fucking. I wanted to see more of Will Wheaton. We had Will Wheaton at the very end of season 1. I know he's not technically on the living plane anymore, but I wanted more of him.
Well, here's another thing. Here's another interesting thing. He appears. We get more of his story in season 2 of Star Trek Prodigy. Believe it or not.
Okay.
We get a lot of Will Wheaton, good old Wesley Crusher, in season 2 of Prodigy. But you would have had to have seen Prodigy.
That explains why I refused to watch Prodigy.
It was good. Don't get me wrong. It was really good. I thought, anyway. Like it's one of those I think everybody should check out at least once.
I'm sure it was great. I just can't stand Will Wheaton, and I can't stand Wesley Crusher.
Yeah,
Wesley Crusher has always been one of those characters that I did not care for.
I just want him to get his flowers and some decent writing.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
That's fair.
Because that was the problem. He didn't have decent writing. They were writing him like a jackass. So that's why he is a jackass. That's why people hate him. I want him to get his flowers. Hell, Hayden Christensen got his. Will Wheaton deserves his. My personal
Will
opinion.
Wheaton's a jackass.
Well,
They didn't write him to be a jackass. They met him for 5 minutes and found out he is a jackass.
Jeez.
Even as a child, when he was back on when he was originally little Wesley Crusher, he was still a jackass.
What makes Will Wheaton a jackass? I think I'm out of the loop on this one.
He's so overconfident. He's so arrogant.
Okay. All right. I feel like Dontra. Oh, I get it now. I don't get it.
And it might just be my personal opinion.
Fair enough.
It feels like to me it feels like his main claim to fame was Star Trek, and he's been milking it ever since.
I mean, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I can agree with that, and I understand that. I see that.
I don't think he's ever been in anything else.
He's been in a few other shows.
Nothing notable, I should say.
He's been in a few episodes of The Big Bang Theory. He's been in a couple,
right?
A couple things, but he's never had a mainstay role that I can really think of other than Wesley Crusher, and that's a big portion of it. Is he makes it seem like that should put him over the top of, oh, everybody should know Wesley Crusher. Everybody should know me as Wesley Crusher. And that's what bugs me is he uses the Star Trek name more than he should for a character that really didn't do much.
That's fair. I can agree with that. I mean,
I don't agree with it, but I understand it.
It's in my mind, it's kind of like Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. You take Wesley Crusher out of the show, you really don't lose anything. But in his mind, it's you take him out of the show, and the show no longer works.
Well, I mean, we did take him out of the show, seasons 3 through 4. And parts of 5, most of 6, and all of 7.
Mm-hmm.
And the show still continued. It did better.
I mean, I understand your point of view. I really do. I understand your point of view, considering, when we look at everything past TNG, past the actual show, Generations, no Wesley Crusher. Insurrection, no Wesley Crusher. First Contact, no Wesley Crusher. The other movie they were in, no Wesley Crusher.
Nemesis. He was there for a split second. You can see him sitting at the table of Riker and Deanna's wedding.
Right. But
playing devil's advocate, he was there.
Doesn't count.
But yeah, he didn't have a speaking role.
Doesn't count.
Like Deadpool and Wolverine. Shh, Buck, no speaking roles.
During the entirety of Picard, during the entirety of season 3, which was the reunion season, and all of that, they decided to add Wesley Crusher once, and that was the end of season 1, only talking to one person. And that was the person we never saw again in the show. I mean, presumably because she went with Wesley Crusher into the not-existing realm anymore. But, I
have an idea.
We're going to get him in the reunion. Who do we get? We get his younger brother.
Half-brother.
His younger brother did not exist. Brother. that did not exist until they decided to write the show. Like, not even in the continuation books, continuation comics, did Jack Crusher, or let alone Jack Picard, fucking exist. Wesley did.
Now, to be fair, yes, he was created just for the show. But in some of the continuation novels and so on and so forth, Picard and Dr. Crusher do settle down, and they do have a couple of kids.
Right.
So I think that's probably where that idea stemmed off from. But yeah, but it's not quote unquote Jack Crusher.
Yeah. Well, see, but again, it just comes to the point of again, when they decided to bring the cast back together, they were like, should we get Will Wheaton? Nah, fuck him.
Because even they knew he was an asshole.
But, again, let's go on to the most... Again, I'm just playing devil's advocate at this point in time. I mean, I know Carter's been trying to rage bait us this entire podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
I have not.
Sir, may I remind you, you said data at first, and I didn't comment on it because I was like, nah, it's not
even
worth
I shut up, and that should tell you something, because I was about to it's data, motherfucker!
That's because for me, when I hear that word, my brain immediately goes into computer tech. It's not
okay,
translating
Dr. Plasky.
into Star Trek.
But again, however it be, I'm just going to play devil's advocate here and let Carter rage bait us a little bit. They even decided when we bring back the characters for next gen, when we do the reunion for next gen in the third season, who are we bringing back? Well, we got to bring back Riker and Deanna. We got to bring back Riker. Okay, sure, yeah, for sure. Okay, well, if we're bringing back Riker, we got to have Deanna. All right, yeah, that sounds great. We got to add Worf in there somewhere. Okay, yeah, sure. Geordi's got to come along. Absolutely. Dr. Crusher's got to be there. Sure. Data's got to be there. Well, hold on. We killed Data at the end of season 1. We got to work around. We'll figure something out. Hold on. You just let me worry about that. We'll fix that. We're bringing back Data, though. Get Brent Spiner on the phone. Let him know he's coming back. He's putting the contact in for a few more episodes. Hands down, it's happening. Okay, who else should we have? What about Riker and Deanna's kid? No. They already lost one son. They're definitely not going to bring their daughter along with them to go fuck some shit up. Okay, that sounds fair.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
What about Worf's son? Well, if we recast Alexander, a lot of people are going to be pissed. Nah, he was absent in the last few seasons of Star Trek anyways. It's like he never existed anyways. Fuck him. Okay. What about Data's kid? Well, we made her disappear with Will Wheaton, with Wesley Crusher. That's who we're forgetting, Wesley Crusher. No.
No.
But you know what? Jack Crusher. As in Dr. Crusher's dead ex-husband? Yes, but no. What do you mean? Use his name. We're going to use his name, but it's her son instead. Okay? He's also Picard's son. What are you on? What are you smoking? Can I have some? No.
Can I have some? No.
No. See, you have a slight mistake there, sir. The girl that leaves with Will Wheaton is not Data's kid. The girl that leaves with Will Wheaton is Soong's kid.
True.
Data's kid is technically, if you really want to be technical about it, Data's kid was the girl that got blown up, and then the one that was on the Borg cube that ended up going back to the planet with the rest of the synths.
And if you want to get real technical, his other kid was Lal, who destroyed herself in the Next Generation.
Yes.
No, hold on. Hold on. We don't even bring Wesley Crusher into the conversation just yet. Hold on. Erase the Wesley Crusher comment. Okay, so we're going to bring back Brett Spiner. We're going to bring back all of them. None of the kids are coming back. Okay. All right. Cool. Sounds good. Sounds bueno. Should we bring back Guinan again? No. Her story's finished. Okay, fair enough. All right. Who else should we bring back? You remember that ensign, that Bajoran ensign that was on there for like a couple seasons here and there? An extra that just happened to stick around. Oh, Ro Lauren? Yeah, we'll bring her back. Okay. We'll add one kid. Okay, here we go. Yes. Wesley Crusher. No, fuck him. Jack Crusher. Who?
What?
Thought we were talking about kids.
Yeah. They're gonna remember everybody, including Ensign Ro Lauren, who was just an extra that got lucky enough to keep coming back.
I feel like part of it too is they had to select characters that weren't really. There wasn't going to be a break to try and bring them back.
Yeah.
There weren't extenuating circumstances to bring these characters back. And to go off of your point with Data, technically, even before season 1, they already killed it.
Right.
Because he died saving Picard's life, and then they brought him back for season 1, and then Picard lets Data die because Data asks for it.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, for me, I don't like that they brought Data back for the third one. Because it feels like everything that Picard went through getting the new body is just completely wiped away because Data has the new body too. Data has a positronic body just like Picard does. So to me, it feels like everything Picard went through, him dying towards the end of that season, was just completely retconned. It's like, oh, okay, Picard did it. We can do it to Data too.
Yeah.
Well, and they explain that too in that season. I think even in that episode or in the next one, they were like, well, I hope we're not, going against your wishes by bringing you back because, we killed you. And even Data was like, well, I think that part of me is resting peacefully. I'm happy to be alive, however. So I think they did try to address that as much as they could.
Right, but I have to agree with Carter here. I want to add on because it does feel very unauthentic. Because it does feel like, hey, we're gonna do this with Data, because if we don't have Data here, what's the point of having Geordi? Well, he's the chief engineer. No. You're not hearing me. If we don't have Data, what's the point of having Geordi? The best part of Data and Geordi were each other. That friendship between the two of them. If we don't have one, what's the point of having the other one? Well, okay, fine. We'll have the other one. We'll bring Data back. Well, how are we going to fix this? Put a Band-Aid on it. It's 3 inches deep and gushing a gallon a minute of blood. No. Put a Band-Aid on it. It'll be all right. That's what it feels like. Personally, to me. Because, going back off of what Carter said, there's that very, very emotional moment when Picard lets Data go. That goodbye to a dear friend. Someone who strives so much to be human finally finds a way to, I can die too, and I want to. And it's not just powering off. No, it is actually killing him. Ceasing to exist. And there's that emotion that you feel, the audience feels, Picard feels, and the audience is amped up by Picard's feelings on this. And it sends Picard down this rabbit hole that leads into season 2. and what kind of person Picard is in season 2 when it comes to death. Struggling with his own mortality and then, the positronic body as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't think it would have worked otherwise. I don't think season 3 would have worked otherwise without Data. I will say that. But the way they brought Data back for season 3 was cheap in the overall thing. Like, I wish instead of doing, if they wanted to kill Data, let Data die. I think they should have done that into season 3 rather than end of season 1. But yeah. I understand. Again, I'm going to go back with, we're talking about streaming here, going back to another point Carter made. This is a show about a character that the new fans that are just getting into Star Trek have no idea about. Of course, they're going to kill off Data in season 1 to finish out his human story. Because they didn't know if they were getting a second, let alone a third season or anything past that. So, again, I understand everything, but yeah, season 3 kind of felt like just a real quick Band-Aid fix on something that needs stitches.
And I fully agree with that. But to expand a little bit on more on the point of why I feel like it was a little cheap is, like you said, we got to see that emotional goodbye. We got to see the point of Picard has been carrying this guilt for the last 20 years of his life. One of his men, one of his friends, sacrificed themselves for him. You finally get that, the closure. He's getting that character development all through season 2. He's starting to realize, I can't do this alone. I can't, it's not possible for me to continue doing this and taking the choice out of everybody's hands. And then you get to that point of, he's finally accepted it. He's finally understanding that the Data's gone, that he's not coming back anymore. This is it. It's the end. And then all of a sudden, season 3 pops, and boom, Data's back. To me, it feels like they just took all of that character development Picard had and said, you know what? We don't like this. We're going to toss it out the window and start over. To open up that still moderately fresh wound of, not only did Picard finally get the chance of saying goodbye, but he's technically the one that killed Data. He's the one that unplugged him. And to now see Data standing in front of him at Picard's age, mind you, of what it would look like if Data was actually human and had survived.
Mm-hmm.
It feels so cheap to me into the way that they did it, because it took everything away that we just got.
Yeah. But again, like I said, I don't think it works without Data in the third season. Anyways, I just wish everything would have waited. I wish they would have done it differently.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I fully agree. I don't think their reunion and everything would have gone down the same way had Data not been there. But there were so many better ways that you could have gone about it.
Mm-hmm. But again, I as an outside look, as an outside perspective, like outside of the universe, like the behind the scenes type shit, I know why they gave the positronic body to Data, and that's because Data's not supposed to age. Brett Spiner definitely did aged. He aged, he got fat. Data ain't supposed to gain weight. So how do we do this? How do we keep Data around and not recast him? Which, there's also the, hey, body double, have Brett Spiner come and record the lines, and then CGI the face on. We've had that done for other shows and movies, not Star Trek, but other shows and movies. Well, hell, even Star Trek has done it because of the Star Trek game. That John knows what I'm talking about,
Which one?
not the game, but Star Trek Continues.
Oh,
with Shatner.
Kinda, but that wasn't Star Trek Continues. That was a special that somebody did with it's called, I think it was called Unification, and it had like a star date attached to it, and I can't remember what it was called.
Okay. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about, where they had a body double for Shatner, but they CGI'd Shatner's face on the body double, and then they had Shatner record the lines, so that way it looked like William Shatner had come back to play Kirk again.
Mm-hmm.
At that age.
Yeah, 765874 Unification.
Yeah.
And they had Sam Witwer stand in for Shatner.
Right, because they were going back for original series Shatner.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had Shatner come in to record the lines. They CGI'd original series Shatner's face on Sam Witwer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they did it with Princess Leia in Star Wars Rogue One. The very end of that. I know it's very expensive to do that. Yeah. I know it's very expensive to do that, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But, how about the other Star Trek trend that has always been there? Where Star Trek has always been above its budget. Always. I mean, can we continue that one? But again, nevertheless, I understand every choice they made. I just don't, like Carter said, I just don't agree with them bringing Data back so easily. Again, there could have been a better way to have maybe brought him back, but it was just so easily done. But I will say the character development that we get at the end for Data, where Data fights Lore damn near wins, and Data's like, "Huh, keeping my shit around? That's keeping me around, motherfucker. Guess what? You're gone." That was cool. I enjoyed that. I did enjoy that. Of course, the Geordi and Data moments that we got. It's good to have you back, old friend. Love that.
You just used a contraction. No, I didn't.
my favorite friendship in all of Trek, and this trumps even Cisco and Jadzia Dax. It is Geordi and Data. They are my favorite Starfleet friendship. So, but things you guys would change about Picard, other than the aforementioned stuff we've all just talked about. What are some other things you would change about Picard to make it that much better?
Like, are we talking across all 3 seasons, or
just in general? Just in general, I guess.
I would have done away with the first 2 seasons and started season 1 where season 3 is, and then continued on from there. Because I love season 3. I wouldn't change a goddamn thing about season 3, but that's my opinion.
For me, I would have taken, kind of like John said, but I would have taken 3 completely out. Make 3 its own little mini series. Because, like John, like you were saying earlier, you can jump directly to season 3 of Picard and not miss a damn thing. Season 3 in no way, shape, or form connects to season 1 and 2 other than the characters.
Right.
So take season 3, make it its own little mini series following that storyline, and then take what we had in season 2 and continue off of that. Give us that, then give us the closing up parts there, and then bring in Jack Crusher, bringing in a whole new storyline. Because there are a lot of things in season 2 that didn't get finished. There were plot points that we could have taken and continued on for another season. wrapping them up nicely before ending the show, and then having Picard going out, have the end of season 3 being Picard sitting there in his study like he was, getting that message from Beverly, getting the message from Dr. Crusher, hey, we need help. And that begins a whole new thing. Because I feel like you could have taken that and almost led it into Starfleet Academy. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Damn, Carter's making a lot of sense tonight. Fuck.
Well, I mean, in regards to Starfleet Academy splinters off from Discovery. So a lot of what happens, like in Star Trek Picard Season 3, doesn't apply to Starfleet Academy, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I said kind of. Don't directly tie it into Starfleet Academy, but tie it into that of this is, kind of going towards that. Okay. We see the end of Jack Crusher as he's flying off with Seven and Rafi in the ship to kind of like ending off of that story. Be its own little continuation thing, And then have, once it's over, then you can go into Starfleet Academy. Because they could, in Starfleet Academy, they could have studied how Admiral Picard ended up meeting his own, meeting his son, all the stuff with the changelings, the Dominion War, because all of season 3 really has absolutely nothing to do with anything we've seen before this point. It's quite literally, even in the beginning of the very first episode, is called The Next Generation. It's showing, like I said earlier, the old guard finally taking their step back, giving that new blood the chance to come in. So you could have started, Starfleet Academy with studying how the new generation took over from the old guard, took over the changing of ceremony. You see Picard finally getting his chance to retire. He's with Laris. He's with Laris, or he's with Dr. Crusher. You see Jack finally taking over the Enterprise. You finally see Rafi and Seven settling down into their life, and then have little snippets of the things that Jack did as a study inside of Starfleet Academy. Because technically, he never actually joined the Academy. He was immediately granted this promotion afterwards and said, hey, here's a fast track to your ship.
He attended the Academy for 1 year, but they did put him on the fast track. So
yeah.
Whereas every other person goes through what?
Right.
2, 3, something like that?
Well, I think even Jack points that out. He's like, it's probably a bit of nepotism. Like, he's about as not thrilled as not going through the Academy as probably everybody else is. Which I thought that was a nice little addition. He was like, no, this is probably nepotism. And he was like, I'm not a fan. he was like, I'll accept it, but I'm not a fan.
Because he wanted to get there on his own merits. He didn't want to use his dad's name.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's kind of the point they made.
Yeah, which is why, again, we see him. It's not Lieutenant Picard. It's Lieutenant Crusher. Still, even after everything, yes, he's going to talk to his dad. He's going to be, he's getting more in touch with his dad.
He's going to have a relationship with his daddy.
Crusher. Yeah, he's going to have a relationship with his dad. It's still Crusher. It's not Picard. But no, honestly, for me, the only thing I would change about Picard would be a couple miniseries. Let's add some miniseries in here. I want to see Rafi. I want to see Rafi getting to meet her granddaughter. Rebuild that relationship with her son. because that was such a plot point in season 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Such a massive plot point in season 1 and 2. At the end of season 2, we hear her talking to her granddaughter, for lack of a better term, on the phone, basically.
Yeah.
You know,
She wasn't
we
talking
hear
to her.
her
She was
talking,
watching a video.
right. But
talking
either way, talking to her son though about getting to meet her and come over for dinner. At
Yeah.
some point, there's still that conversation, and I was rooting for it. I was so rooting for it. I was hoping season 3 was going to open with that, or at least somewhere in season 3 there would have been that. I want that miniseries because I want to see more of Elnor.
Yeah.
We get Elnor back, and then he disappears. And I loved him. I'll be fully honest. I loved Elnor. I really
Elnor
did.
was pretty cool, I will admit.
I loved his character. I want a miniseries on Elnor. Get the miniseries of with Rafi's miniseries. That I think that would be the first one. Rafi's miniseries. You see her bettering herself. Being there on the Enterprise with Seven. You get them settling down, having dinner, having her son over, and then it bridges, towards the end of her miniseries, you get that bridge into Elnor's miniseries. And then from there, it just jumps around. A miniseries with Jack Crusher on the Enterprise.
Juxtaposition or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
I think, don't get me wrong, I love Starfleet Academy. I am loving it so far. It is fucking great. I can't get enough of it. I think, but however, I think Starfleet Academy should have been set in the 25th century after Picard season 3, rather than in the 31st century or whatever, piggybacking off of Discovery.
But that's just because Discovery sucks. But
well, that too. Don't get me wrong. I am loving Starfleet Academy so far. It is a fantastic fucking show. It gets my seal of approval. God damn it.
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not gonna speak to what it is, but I have to agree with. I don't think it should be set that far out.
Yeah.
I don't want things that far out. I'm tired of going that far out. Let's come a little closer. Okay, we've been going on the in-betweens right now. Give me in between Kirk and Picard. Give me John Harriman. Give me the Enterprise C. Or if you don't want to go there, give me some ships in that era, but different ships. It doesn't have to be the Enterprise. We don't need another Enterprise crew. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love seeing the Enterprise. I think, I want more of the Enterprise B than just a,
give
30-minute segment.
Give us an Enterprise B show, goddammit.
Right. I mean, I want to see more of the Excelsior class Enterprise B, more than 30 minutes on Generations, but, it doesn't have to be the Enterprise B. I want more than just, an hour's episode on yesterday's Enterprise to the Enterprise C, but it doesn't have to be the Enterprise C. I just want to see an ambassador class out and about in space. I want to see what that looks like. I want to look on that bridge,
Here's an idea. Give us a Morgan Bateson show. Kelsey Grammer's still around. I'd love to see a Morgan Bateson show. That'd be freaking awesome.
I don't think there's a big enough audience for it, though.
Maybe, but still, my point still stands.
One of the reasons too is why we don't have those in between moments like Chris is looking for, is because there's not a big enough audience for those specific ships.
Right.
Everybody. Yeah. There is. Don't get me wrong. There is an audience for it, but you're talking about a very niche set inside of the Star Trek universe.
Yeah.
I mean, even myself, up until honestly that I met you guys, I didn't know anything about Generations. I've never, even to this day, I still have never seen Star Trek Generations. I haven't seen any of the movies for years before I started coming on here. So you're talking, it goes back to my earlier point of, you're talking about very niche pieces inside that don't generate enough of an audience for them to openly do it. However, I do agree with Chris's point of, I think it would be nice had they put the Fleet Academy, Starfleet Academy back during that time.
Mhm.
It doesn't make sense for it to be in the 31st century because we just ended with, Picard being in the 25th century, and the only reason we ended up going anywhere near the 31st century was because of Discovery. But there's
Discovery numbers weren't there.
Yeah, there's no build up. There's no showing. You're missing, 25th century, 31st century. That's 6 centuries, 600 years where we don't know what the hell happened in there.
We now have 2 lost eras of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Right.
And
that's what I'm saying. My earlier point, of, like I said, it does not have to be. The show doesn't have to be about the Enterprise C. The show doesn't have to be about the Enterprise B. For all intents and purposes, you can make a Lower Decks, but put it in the Monster Maroon era, right? That lost era of Star Trek in between Kirk and Picard, where you don't have to talk about Kirk, you don't have to talk about Picard. You're right there in the in between. You can make your own fucking story with your own ship, call it whatever the fuck you want, just put them in those uniforms. Because when it comes down to it, it's not that I want more of Kirk, or I want more of Picard. I want more of that goddamn uniform. It's one of my favorite uniforms. I want, I would love a show. Let's go back to in the in between of the Picard era, from Voyager to Picard. Give me an in between show there where they wear the 2399 uniform, like in the flashbacks of Picard season 1, because I love that uniform. I want to see more of that uniform.
Most he sees of that uniform is me.
Right. We have a lot of these uniforms that Star Trek has put out there, but we don't get a lot of content with them. Now I know the Monster Maroon is kind of like, no, we got quite a bit with them, but I want more with them, because
it's just
most of the rest of the uniforms, most of the rest of the uniforms we're getting shows. We're getting, just stop. It's not gonna work. Okay. We're getting shows which have, hour-long episodes, or however long they go. Or in the streaming sense, they're an hour 30 minutes per episode. So we're getting to see the Discovery uniform quite a bit. We're getting to see the Strange New Worlds uniform quite a bit. We got the original series uniform quite a bit. Next Gen, so on and so forth. I want this uniform in an episode era. On an episode. I want more than one episode with this uniform. I want to see it again. Like I said, it's a lost era. You can do whatever you want in that time frame. The lost era that has now been created between Picard and Discovery seasons 4 or 5 and Starfleet Academy. You have a lot to do with 600 years to do with there. And then even more so between Voyager and Picard, you have about another 30 years to fuck with. Where make your own story, but give us something that we, give you want the original fans back. You want the original fans back because the original fans are going to be your baseline, but you're trying to get new fans in. Bridge that area. That's what that's where I'm at. Is bridge that area. Because Strange New Worlds has done it perfectly.
Absolutely.
Personally.
I would like to
add... You got a whole new cast of characters. With Strange New Worlds, you got a whole new cast of characters that people are learning. But you got the name of Pike on there. You've got Spock. And then every so often you have Uhura, Kirk, and Scotty. And then come season 4 and season 5, we're going to have McCoy. So you're getting your older fans there, but you're getting a whole new base, a whole new baseline fans coming up that know nothing about it, but are learning. And because Strange New Worlds is so new, they're drip feeding because they know they have to information into the Star Trek universe. Sorry, my point. Stepping off the soapbox.
You're good. I would like to add, however, I think there's less you can do, say, in the eras between Kirk and Picard, because certain things have to happen in that timeline. Between those two areas, you've got a lot more freedom in between Picard and Discovery Starfleet Academy, because you've got a lot more freedom because you've got, like you said, you've got 600 years to work with. Between Kirk and Picard, you've got about 80 years, but in those 80 years, certain things have, like you can't change certain things that they bring up in Next Generation or something like that. So I think you've got a little bit more freedom in that second period than that first one.
And the same goes for going between Voyager and Picard as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
At the end of Voyager, you have Janeway delivering the virus to the changelings.
To the Borg.
There's not really anything in there that you can do, because at that point we were in a time of rebuilding. Starfleet was in a time of rebuilding. They were in a time of, we just got out of the Dominion War. We're not trying to get any new enemies. We're not trying to bring any new species into the Federation right now. We're trying to get back that sense of normalcy, and I don't think Starfleet Academy would have worked in that instance, because there's nothing for them to play off of. There's no real reason to ramp up pushing these cadets out, pushing out the new Starfleet captains, because there's nothing for it right now. There's nothing for them to do. You could put them on a ship, and their entire show would be about delivering aid and supplies.
Well, and not to mention,
that's about all they're going to have to do.
Not to mention, between Voyager and Picard, I think you've only got maybe a 20-year gap. Maybe
20 to 30, yeah.
Yeah, 20 to 30 year gap. You don't have a lot to work with.
But I'm saying the gap is there.
I get what you're saying, but yeah.
I fully understand what you're saying, and I fully agree that they could have done it like that. I myself personally would have put it in that gap between Picard and Discovery, because you've got enough room there to play around with, to bring in a captain nobody's ever heard of, that isn't resting on the laurels of saving the universe 4, 5, 6, 7 times, like the captain of the Titan, Shaw. No one's ever heard of his name. Captain Shaw is not a name anybody's ever heard of before.
Right.
But now, after this, everybody's going to know Captain Shaw's name. Everybody's going to know of the bravery and the heroic acts he did to help save Frontier Day. Give me Star Trek, give me Starfleet Academy after that, where they have that laurel of, they know they have a chance to make a difference, and it's going to be recognized without having to have the last name of Riker, of Picard, of LaForge, of,
or hell, even any of the other legacy characters, say like Kirk or Cisco or O'Brien, even.
Yeah.
You don't have to have that. You don't have to have that. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to say, right?
Yes.
I was trying to refer
that legacy name.
Yeah.
You don't have to have that legacy name to have an impact. Give me a captain like that. Give me a captain that's taking out a class of Academy recruits for when they get assigned to their rotations to see how the ship works. Give me that as Starfleet Academy. Put it right there in the middle. You don't have to tell me what goes on in between, the end of Picard and getting to this point.
Right.
Just stop trying to push so far into the future that it no longer makes any sense.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go for, a 50-year gap, an 80-year gap, sure, fine. But 600 years?
Yeah.
And we've got nothing. 600-year gap, and you have no information, no lore about what happened in this point. How did we get this new tech? Did we add any new species to the Federation? Did we find new planets, new galaxies? Is there any substance here that brought us to this point, or is it just business as usual
right.
for the last 600 years? We've had no major wars. We've had no... I find that hard to believe that in 600 years there was no significant event that you could have put the Academy in before this point.
Right. Because, again, the only thing that you gain by putting it 600 years is if you have a Cadet Kirk, you have a Cadet Janeway, you have a Cadet O'Brien. Okay, there's a fat fucking chance they're actually related to James T. Kirk, Miles O'Brien, Catherine Janeway. It's just a fucking last name 600 years in the fucking future.
Mm.
Even if they are related to James T. Kirk, okay, they're 600 years from Picard, which is almost 150 years from James T. Kirk at this point in time. That is 750 years. Even with record. Even with records. Going back and still giving a fuck that you were related to James Tiberius Kirk 750 years later is like saying, yeah, I know which caveman I was related to. It's cool you can trace yourself back that fucking far, but at this point, who the fuck cares?
I was about to say, yeah. That's their only advantage is they're not connected to any of the legacy stuff, save for maybe Discovery, but I would not consider that legacy.
Discovery hasn't earned its place legacy yet, nor will.
No.
You know what? No, I'm not going to say that because, a lot of fans, going back to Enterprise, a lot of fans said Enterprise was not going to earn its legacy spot, but it did.
Well, and even going back to even the Next Generation, a lot of people were not on board for the Next Generation when it first came out, and it ended up gaining its legacy status maybe about 10 years later after it ended.
But I will be right back.
Okay. But going back to the putting Starfleet Academy like that could tie that was kind of what I was talking about with the Morgan Bateson thing, because he came forward to the 24th century in the episode Cause and Effect. He could very well be teaching at the Academy during the events of like Star Trek Picard and stuff like that. He would be about that old by that time. And like I said, Kelsey Grammer's still around. That could be a real thing. I think there'd be a huge audience for that.
Yeah. Again, I definitely get Carter's outlook. His input. I wholeheartedly agree, in some of the things that he says, but also, again, I think an Enterprise B show would work. I think an Enterprise C show would work because, you have... I'm pretty sure there'd be an audience for it because you could do whatever you want with these characters just as long as the show ends a certain way.
Right.
And we know that we could do that because look at Strange New Worlds. Something very specific has to happen to Pike.
Mm-hmm.
We know this. The show knows this. The writers know this. There's that
It's brought
cannot
up
be tamed.
several times that,
Right.
Pike knows what's going to happen to him. He knows. And maybe the rest of the crew doesn't, but Pike himself and maybe Spock knows what's going to happen to him.
Right.
Which I feel like that sets up...
Lieutenant Riley knows.
Yeah. And I feel like that sets up that episode of the original series, the two-parter, the only two-parter in the original series, and I forget what it's fucking called off the top of my head. But I feel like this...
constantly referred to it as Captain Pike Found Alive because that is the name of Sean's autobiography, Sean being the guy that played Captain Pike on that episode. But yes, I just constantly call it Captain Pike Found Alive. But yeah, that's not the name of the show whatsoever, the episode whatsoever. But
damn it, it's gonna bug me.
But with that, Stranger Worlds has pulled in this new audience. Carter, welcome back. Damn it. Okay, I've got a rebuttal for you.
I was listening. I can hear it.
Okay, so yeah, going back to those certain time periods wouldn't work because of what knowledge we have to have. But again, Captain Pike, I raised you Strange New Worlds on the simple fact that we know what's going to happen to Captain Pike, right? So if you work an Enterprise B show like that, you could have you could use the outward scenes if you want to recast the entire. Because getting Alan Ruck to come back and play John Harriman probably not going to happen.
I feel like that wouldn't be too far of a stretch.
Well, I mean, Alan Ruck doesn't look anything like he did when he played in that movie. He'd either have to lose about 90 pounds, or they'd have to digitally make him lose 90 pounds.
All right, I'll buy that.
It's a lot of money. So, you could use the outward scenes of the Enterprise B from Generations to start the show. This is where our story starts. And then, so that way they know. Now, it's only in lore that the Enterprise B is lost with all hands. But technically, none of the shows have ever confirmed that. Now, I mean, if they're going to respect it, yes. At the end of the series, you either end it with the Enterprise B going to its death, or you show its death at the end of the series. Those are the only two things that would have to happen for an Enterprise B show.
Well, another thing, if you're going to go the lore route, in the lore, towards the later years of her life, the Enterprise B was actually captained by Demora Sulu. Believe it or not. Yeah. So you could totally go that route and have Alan Ruck come in as maybe a cameo every now and again.
Right. Because again, it's never said which captain is lost with the Enterprise B. There is some lore that says John Harriman is lost with the Enterprise B. Other lore says Demora Sulu is lost with the Enterprise B. We just know the Enterprise B is kaput, gone, no more. The only Enterprises that are in the museum, the ship museum, are the Enterprise A and the Enterprise D, because the rest of them are fucking gone. The original became a refit, then blew up. The B blew up. The C blew up. The D was blown up, but they figured out how to fix it. The E was just lost. Worf was like, I forgot where I parked it.
Not my fault.
And then the F.
And XO1's still going strong.
G is the current one we're on.
Yeah, the F is the current one we're on. So, come the end of Picard.
On the end of Picard, it's the Enterprise G, not F.
The F was destroyed in that battle.
Okay,
lost.
So the F is fucking gone. What is with the Enterprise? You would think that the Enterprise would be the coolest ship to have in the museum, and the captains are all like,
"Well,
I'm gonna blow it up."
If you think about it, the the Enterprise is the biggest target that Starfleet has because Kirk made it so goddamn famous. And then the Federation decided to confirm that. So the Enterprise is always the biggest target that Starfleet has.
I mean, yeah, fair, but like, you know, we don't need Captain I'm gonna wreck it every time.
In
the Enterprise C's case.
While I do agree with you to a certain point, outside of Generations, the Enterprise B is never seen. It's only known about in lore.
Right.
So there's
in beta canon, pretty much.
So it goes back to what I was saying before, is there's not enough people who know about the Enterprise B or the Enterprise C for that matter. Yes, if you want to go with that version of the ship, the Constitution class or whatever, and make it a different ship name, like we had the Stargazer, have something like that, I could understand it. But you can't bring in something that nobody's ever heard of. Everybody in Star Trek has at least heard of the Constitution class ships, the Intrepid class ships, whatever the hell the Defiant was. I can't for the life of me remember what that one was.
Defiant,
Defiant class. Those I could fully understand, but unless you've gotten into the lore, unless you've really looked at the comics and things and gone into, you know, the books and whatnot, you're not really gonna know anything about the Enterprise B.
Have a counterpoint.
But hold on. But this is what's making my point for me, though, is no one knows. Like, you could upset the lore because, again, the lore has never been canonified. Truthfully, has never been truly canonified. You know, again, when it comes to the lore of the Enterprise B, they don't know which captain lost it. They don't know which captain died with it. They just know it died. Okay, and all hands were lost with it. You know, that is the only thing we know for sure about the Enterprise B, other than Generations, that it was lost with all hands. We don't know, you know, and so when it comes to that lore, we can do whatever the fuck we want with the show. Canonify the Enterprise B. That's what I'm saying. That's where my point is.
Yeah.
Is you could basically do whatever the fuck you want with it. Because those that would get upset about it would have to shut the fuck up because their numbers are so small.
But a counterpoint to that is... go ahead, John.
As far as the classes goes, everybody knows a fucking Excelsior class. Everybody knows an Excelsior class. There is not a goddamn person that, oh yeah, that's an Excelsior. I've seen, Starfleet has used those for almost 100 years.
Yeah, and I have to ask, as someone who's seen Starfleet Academy, do they show any of the other ships in Starfleet Academy?
As models.
Not really.
As models.
Okay.
Like you get like an Enterprise like B model. I don't know if it's labeled the Enterprise. It's like one of the. It's like something that's in the office.
I want to know if they're still beating the fuck out of that dead and dying horse.
The Excelsior class. Well, okay, so they stopped beating the hell out of it in Picard season 2 because you see the new USS Excelsior and it's an Excelsior 2 class. So they basically took the original Excelsior design and I guess improved on it because I guess they figured out they finally could. It took them long enough, but yeah, so no, they're not beating the shit out of it by any means.
Because the Excelsior class is useless.
No, it's not. Starfleet used it for 100 years. It can't be useless if they've used it for that fucking long.
They couldn't figure out how to make it any better.
Yeah, they couldn't improve on the design. That's what's so cool about it.
Yeah, exactly. They're just proving that they perfected it. They perfected.
They did not
Starship.
They did not have the technology to improve it until the 25th century.
Because there was no way to make it, and you can't. you could put lipstick on a pig, and it doesn't mean it's going to make it any prettier. That's essentially
all of a sudden, I have a worry about your warp core, Chris. Your chief engineer's talking some serious shit about your ship.
Which means that I should be able to actually talk serious shit about the Excelsior class, because I work on the bitch.
I would love to say I have a Scotty. I would love to say I have a Scotty. You put us in a fucking room full of Klingons at a bar. They're talking shit about me. No punches thrown. Cool, great. They talk shit about my ship. I'd love for my chief engineer to just...
Nope, he's going to join in on the shit talking. Yeah, this thing's a flying fucking death trap.
No, hold on. This is completely different. It's okay for me to shit talk it because it's my ship. I'm the one that works on the bitch. Somebody else starts shit talking it, I'm gonna throw you out the closest airlock.
Yeah, like talking to Chris. Hey, that hat looks stupid. Somebody else comes in. Hey, that hat looks stupid. That's my friend tag, you motherfucker.
Scotty's the exact same way though. He routinely talks shit about the Enterprise, but the moment somebody jumps in and starts talking shit about the Enterprise, Scotty flips the script because only he can. It's his ship.
That's fair.
Literally, fucking. We're watching Wrath of Khan last night, and I just literally hear Scotty go, fucking bucket of bolts. Like, of course, fucking wasn't in there, but you could tell that's what he wanted to say. Fucking bucket of bolts. And I'm like, well, Scotty's talking shit. Literally, the Klingon says, what a nothing but a bucket of bolts. And Scotty's like,
and in the director's edition of Star Trek II, he passes that on to his nephew. Because his nephew's like, you won't find a better engine room in all of Starfleet. And Kirk's like, do you have any idea how many times I've heard Mr. Scott over the comms telling me his troubles, or the ribbing I've had to endure in the officers' mess to the effect that the Enterprise is a flying death trap?
But no. I can't wait for the Starfleet Academy episode. Like, I know we got 2 more. I know we got Strange New Worlds next. Then we're getting on to Starfleet Academy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're getting on to the animated shows. I can't wait because there's been so much talk about Starfleet Academy since it's dropped. Where both good and bad. I've heard a lot of good. I've heard a lot of bad. And people, the bad I've been hearing, though, is mostly just what sounds like a bunch of ignorant people.
Yeah.
Now, again, this goes back to the debate of, these people that we're calling ignorant are newer fans. They haven't been with us for a while. Or they are the older fans and they're just not thinking. Which we'll get, of course, we're going to get to that.
We'll get there.
Because I've been gearing up this argument for about a week and a half now. But,
yeah, it still gets my seal of approval. I don't give a shit.
You're Mr. Hot Take, so your seal of approval
is
kind of,
Granted, but I feel like this isn't that hot of a take. Once you see it, I think you'll agree that it's not that hot of a take.
No, like I said, I haven't... The bits and pieces that I've seen on TikTok, because I'm trying to avoid it like the plague. I really am. Because I want no outside knowledge for when I go to watch this. The bits and pieces, though, that I have seen, I like the direction that it's going. The trailers made me believe that it was going to be very much a college,
and it is.
Kid, the typical college movie.
And it is.
Pretty much.
But it's fun. It is so fun to watch in a Star Trek setting.
Right, because I thinking about it, like every time I've thought about Starfleet Academy or like writing my own Starfleet Academy style show, I've kind of put that same spin on it. I just wasn't recognizing that I was putting that same spin on it. That overly done college trope that everybody does with a college movie. But at the same time, if you're doing a college style show, college style movie, you kind of have to hit that trope just because it's tradition And no one's going to take you seriously if you don't.
Right. And this actually should come as a special endorsement. It is the only one of the Star Trek shows that my sister and I will watch together religiously, because my sister loves school type drama and she loves this freaking show. She adores it. And she's not really a Star Trek person like we are.
Yeah.
Like, I've only just started to get her on the movies. And she wasn't the biggest fan of 2 because of the earworms, which understandable. But yeah,
you know
yeah, that was exactly what Carter just did. That was her reaction.
I have like
to warn
it.
Yeah, that was her reaction too. She's like,
I have to warn M. Let me remind me tomorrow when we're on podcast for no, because
I will try.
Okay,
but I'm gonna forget.
Ben's fiance M. Okay, the way I am deathly scared of spiders, she is deathly afraid of earwigs.
Oh fuck! She's gonna hate that movie.
Like she cannot deal with them.
She gonna hate that movie.
Yeah. So I have to warn them. Remind me tomorrow to warn them about Star Trek 2, because that is gonna fuck with her so
bad. Bad. Especially yeah.
We got time because they're still on Enterprise.
Right. But still.
The best one, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I want to go ahead and nip it in the bud now so that when they get there, they can't say I didn't warn them.
Okay, Carter, what's your 2 bits?
What? I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you said yeah. I thought you were wanting to bring up a point.
Being the best Star Trek show.
I thought you were wanting to bring up a point, but
okay, so that's obviously rage baiting. He's obviously rage baiting again.
Obviously.
I am not. I'm merely offering my opinion.
I do like Enterprise.
Who joined us because Deep Space Nine was his favorite show.
Oh, Deep Space Nine is always my favorite show, but Enterprise is for me is a personal favorite as well.
I still love Enterprise too, but I have the nostalgia part of it because I literally grew up with that show until I was like 4 years old, and then it ended.
I like season 4. I do that.
For me, I liked Enterprise because it showed how it got started.
Yeah.
You know,
you got to see a period.
Everybody hates on Archer for the way he did things, but you have to understand is that he's the only one out there. There's no, until we get the second one, there's no other ships.
Well, not only that,
he wrote the book.
Yeah, not only that, there's not even a Federation in Enterprise. The Federation we don't even get to see the founding. Technically speaking, in Enterprise, we don't get to see the founding of the Federation.
You see it in a hologram at the end.
But that doesn't fucking count shit.
But you're seeing the human race as a species that has just come off of world wars. We're just getting back on our feet after all of this, and getting out there and experiencing all these new cultures, all these new people, first contact after first contact after first contact. Yeah, he's gonna screw up a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, I fully agree that there are some instances where if Archer had just listened to T'Pol and listened to Tucker, things might have gone a bit differently. But at the end of the day, the thing you have to remember is, yes, T'Pol and yes, Tucker can offer wisdom, but it's Archer's command.
Ultimately, it's Archer's decision because he's the captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his word. He can take the advice, but he's got to take what he thinks is the best course of action.
And
sometimes that leads to, sometimes that leads him astray and leads him into regressing a little bit in that character development. But the only thing he has to play on is the experiences that he has.
absolutely.
For me personally, if I was in Archer's position and I was gonna look to anybody on the ship, I wouldn't look to T'Pol purely because up until a certain point, Archer doesn't actually trust her. Even
Right.
once he does, he doesn't fully trust her because there's always that ingrained bit of the Vulcans held us back for 100 years. We could have been so much further ahead. Look at all the things we could have done previously, but we're now playing catch up to the rest of the galaxy.
Right.
He can't, you can't go off of Tucker's word either, because just like Archer, Tucker's never been in any kind of situations like this. He's never had to encounter a new person before, anything like that. For me personally, if I was going to go off of anybody's advice, it would be Reed's. Reed, coming from 3 generations of Navy men, at least has that battle experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're transferring the ocean for space, but enough of those similarities are going to overlap that you have a better chance of pulling experience from men who quite possibly have encountered new cultures, who have encountered new, not necessarily new species, but new species, and they've never met these people before. Kind of going back to like Christopher Columbus.
Right.
Coming to America, meeting the Indians. To them, that was meeting a new species, basically. Don't know anything about the culture, don't know the language, don't know anything about what's going on, and coming into it fresh out of the gate. That's why I like Archer. That's why I really enjoy him as a captain, because he didn't have anything to rely on. Kirk had all those people to rely on before him. Picard had all those people to rely on before him. You go through everybody after Archer has had that experience of, they have people experiences they can fall back on of how a first contact is supposed to go, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, how to get yourself out of the situation if you so happen to put yourself in that situation.
Right.
Archer didn't have that. He's making this shit up on the fly.
I think to go off of what you said about listening to Reed, I think I would also loop in Travis. Because while Travis is low level, he's an ensign. His family, he's a freighter. His family,
he's the boomer.
Years. Yeah. I would have listened to him as well.
Yeah, his family has that experience.
Yep.
I want to give Enterprise like another watch. Like, okay, what I really want to do is, once I get on the other side of taking Hannah through all of this, is I want to go back through and revisit some ones. Revisit Enterprise again. And like give it, another watch through. Because to be fair, this was the first time I'd ever seen Enterprise in full. I'd seen bits and pieces of the show here and there, bits and pieces of the seasons, but I never watched it, through and through. So I want to give it a rewatch and see, kind of how I pick up on it the second time.
Sure.
When you do, don't look at it through the eyes of Picard or Kirk. Look at it in the eyes, look through it as the eyes of, this is a whole brand new thing. Up until this point, humanity's never left the Earth.
Right.
We've made it around our little, soul to Jupiter and Mars and whatnot, but we've never encountered anything new. You cannot go into Enterprise looking at it like the Next Generation. You can't go into Enterprise looking at it like the original series, because that's not fair to Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
looking at it through those, yeah, I can fully understand why everybody's pissed with Archer. Dude fucked up constantly. He didn't listen to his command staff. He routinely stuck his nose into people's business that he didn't have any business being in. Well, but he didn't know.
Right. And as an Archer stan myself, I fucking love Archer. Like, even before you made all those absolutely wonderful points. Yeah, there were a few times where, yes, he could have listened to his command staff a little bit better and so on and so forth, but like even past all that, yeah, there was no precedent for him to follow, like say with Kirk or Picard or Janeway or Cisco or anybody else for that matter.
Again, when I revisit Enterprise in like TikTok edits and stuff like that, when I talk about the show, when I remember everything that I watched on the show,
right,
I do try to look at it as he wrote the book. There was no book before him. The only book before him was Zephyr Cochrane writing on how to get warp to work. That's the only book that was written before Archer. Archer is the book. The only reason there's admirals is because Starfleet was a thing. They were building Starfleet just like in the Space Force. There's only generals in the Space Force right now because when they divided the Air Force into the Space Force, they took some of the high-ranking Air Force generals and made them Space Force generals. And so they would have done the same thing with Starfleet, at this point in time.
Yep.
There is no book. He is the book, and like I said, I try to remember that.
Well, and like even in one of the episodes, there's not even a prime directive. It's established in one of the episodes he didn't even have a prime directive or anything.
Right. There was nothing.
There is no first contact protocols because there has been no first contact. Archer had to write them. He had to explain why you can't, up until this point, why you couldn't put a Vulcan and an Andorian in the same room together. Why you couldn't, why you had to show the Tellarites ruthlessness and rudeness versus being kind and being open-hearted. Like
Tellarites being Tellarites.
Yeah. You cannot use the same rules that you would use when you're speaking to a Vulcan that you can use with the Tellarites. It won't work. And I feel like that's what a lot of people don't understand is that he's having to navigate complexities that no one has ever had to deal with before. He's having to literally try and converse with these people using a program that's only barely into its infancy of the Universal Translator.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is in its infancy because, again, Hoshi Sato is the one that built it.
Yeah.
Hoshi built it.
And she's constantly having to update it, constantly having to add to it. And the more time goes on, you start getting those little complexities inside of the language of how they say this, but it's actually meaning this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's where a lot of Archer's mistakes, for lack of a better word, come from, is that he's navigating through these languages as it's happening. He doesn't have the Universal Translator already that he can just land on the Tellarite home world and immediately start speaking Tellarite. And these people are going to be like, oh, cool, all right. He's having to build this vocabulary.
Yeah.
But that's enough for me on my Enterprise soapbox.
Yeah.
Man, we should. It's too bad you weren't around when we were actually discussing Enterprise on those episodes.
Right. I mean,
I think that was during the period where you had some stuff going on. You had to take a break, but
yeah. But again, it's not like we're gonna not revisit it. We can revisit it, at any time. We're just doing of course, we were just doing a general overview.
Yeah. No, that's what I like. It's like we can revisit this shit as many times as we want. We always need more episodes. Once we run out of shows to overview.
You want to revisit Enterprise, you want to go through an in-depth process, give me a time and date, I'll take you through it.
It could be one of the episodes.
I will tell you every minute detail.
I was about to say, it could be one of the episodes after we finish our overview of all the series, so.
Yeah. And as it goes right now, we got Strange New Worlds, Starfleet Academy, Lower Decks,
Prodigy,
and the animated series.
Yeah.
We got 5 more.
Yeah, unlike with Picard, I actually stopped and took my time watching Enterprise to really digest through all of that.
That's fair.
But
surprise, you got at least 3 more shows.
We can start cracking the shell, though, on Strange New Worlds if y'all like. Loved the first 2 seasons.
Oh, absolutely. I loved every episode that's come out. It feels
very much like older Trek. It's got the pop and flair of the original the original series from the 60s.
Oh yeah.
Without it being a 60s show. While also encompassing new ideas, new morals, new ways of thinking, and progressing on characters that we love and know, such as number 1, not Picard, Pike, Nurse Chapel, and Dr. M'Benga, with small guest appearances from Kirk, Scotty, and Uhura. We also get Spock in this show.
What I think is kind of interesting is that, like, most of the main cast from the original series have kind of taken a backseat to some of the background characters that were in the original series. So it's kind of flipped, and I do enjoy that aspect of Strange New Worlds.
Right, such as Dr. M'Benga versus Dr. McCoy.
Mm-hmm.
M'Benga was a character featured in 3 episodes, 2 by name, of the original series. And I can say that for a fact because he only showed up in season 3 of the original series. And I know that because we just got through it. Mm-hmm. Just got there. So, don't come for me on that shit. I know what I'm talking about now.
Now he does. Because he didn't before.
Yeah, right. Nurse Chapel. We have 2 of Majel Barrett's roles on this show, played by 2 different people, and I both of them do a phenomenal job.
Mm-hmm.
Udachin Riley, also number 1, was originally played by Majel Barrett in the first season, the first pilot, The Cage, of the original series. Which, if you're watching this in chronological order, you would have watched
The Cage before Strange New Worlds.
Before Strange New Worlds. You'd watch The Cage, then you'd watch Strange New Worlds. She was originally played by Majel Barrett, and then, of course, as we know, Nurse Christine Chapel would be played by Majel Barrett later on in the original series.
Mm-hmm.
So both of these actresses, I think, really give Majel, give the nod. I think Majel would be very proud of both of them and their portrayal of these 2 roles. Both portrayed as very strong women, which, of course, is something that's important in today's day and age. Not that it wasn't in the 60s, but, women in the 60s were supposed to be dainty.
Except for
So
that
that's the
backhanded
kind of
shit
their
that Chapel does to Spock. I was not a fan of that. But
I mean,
Uh,
also in that same vein, if we're going off of the women giving a nod to the previous actor, you got to give it up to the girl that's playing Uhura.
absolutely.
I think
She's
I think Michelle would be absolutely phenomenally proud of her, and I'm so heartbroken.
that she's never
Yeah,
got to see it. She is
I'm so
playing
heartbroken she never
Michelle.
got.
Yeah, she's
This
playing
woman
Uhura to a T.
Absolutely.
I I would even say she's playing Uhura better than Zoe Saldana did in the 2009 Kelvin reboots.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I
that's
would
not hard.
100% agree with that.
That's not even a fair comparison.
Granted, but
That's fair, But I love her take on Uhura. Again,
Don't
it
give it.
just absolutely breaks my heart that Michelle will never get to see it. It's kind of like Vivian Lyra Blair getting to play Little Leia. It breaks my heart that Carrie Fisher will never get to see it because I know Carrie would love Vivian's performance. Just like I know Michelle would love this woman's performance of Uhura. I would have to probably say the same with Ethan Peck and Leonard Nimoy. Ethan Peck on Discovery did not impress me. He actually pissed me off. I was ready to write him and the whole cast off. I did. I wrote the whole cast and the whole show off based off of the performances on Discovery season 2.
I kind of had to coax him into it.
Watching Strange New Worlds, you coaxed me into it, but it was also the take of, well, that's after Discovery. I'm taking my wife through it. I don't want my biases to be her biases. I'm gonna have to watch it anyways. Forcing myself to watch it though, and forcing myself to pay attention, to not just shut it out. Uh, you know, I'm glad I didn't. Because Ethan Peck, while not the best Spock, I still put Zachary Quinto above him.
Okay.
I think Nimoy would be proud. I think Nimoy would be proud. Would say, you have something nice to say.
Yep.
Of course, I'm not going to put words in the great Leonard Nimoy's mouth, but he would have something nice to say about Ethan Peck's performance. Do I think Ethan Peck has room to improve? Absolutely. But time will tell. We're only on season 3. Technically they filmed it all. Okay, technically it's all been filmed. They're just going to drip feed it to us at this point in time.
Well, they've got to go through editing and stuff and whatnot too.
Yeah.
As somebody who edits a lot of this shit, by the way, they've got to do all that shit before they can put it out.
The one thing I will say though is, I don't, and this is just a personal thing for me, I don't care for the actor that they used for Kirk.
Oh hell, what's his name? Shit, I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name either, but I'm still on the fence about Kirk myself.
The problem with it is knowing the roles that he's played beforehand. This is the same guy that came off of playing Stefan Salvatore in the Vampire Diaries.
Yes.
See, I've never seen Vampire Diaries, so
to me, he doesn't have that Kirk aspect. Kirk is supposed to be that cocky, brash, arrogant to the point of he knows better than everybody else. He knows that he's good enough to be in that chair.
Well, okay. Now, pausing real quick because I've had these same feelings, and me and John had a conversation where I'm still with you, okay, but I kind of understand. Is it this guy? This is Lieutenant Kirk.
Yeah.
He's nowhere close to Commander Kirk. Nowhere close to Lieutenant Commander Kirk. This is Lieutenant second year in the Academy Kirk. This motherfucker doesn't know shit. Okay? He knows he doesn't know shit yet. He hasn't been through anything yet. He's about to. He's about to go through things that are going to make him cocky, but right now he's not there yet.
He hasn't lived through those experiences quite yet.
Even then, he doesn't. For me, he doesn't have the Kirk aspect.
I wish we'd get him a little bit more brash. Don't get me wrong. I'm with you 100%.
Even if you're going off of this being Lieutenant Kirk, going off of what we've seen of Kirk beforehand, and even pulling in Kelvin timeline Kirk, or even during the Academy, going so far as to hack and sabotage the Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah.
That's the Kirk that you get even with the original series.
Yeah.
Because even during the Academy, he thought he knew best. Now, those experiences he hasn't gone through yet show him that, no, you don't know shit. And he's willing to learn. But with this Kirk, it feels like we're not looking at Kirk whatsoever. You could take James T. Kirk's name away from him, slap another name on him, and he'd be perfectly fine. But it's not Kirk. Kirk has always been through every iteration of Star Trek, has always been that brash. He's not afraid to go against the rules. He's not afraid to offer his opinion even when it's not asked for. Whereas this Kirk we're getting is just, he's so mild-mannered by the book that it doesn't match with everything we know about Kirk.
Well, in the original series, it is stated that, yes, during his younger years, he was kind of mild-mannered and went by the book. It's very well stated in both the original series and I think even a little bit in the Next Generation. They talk about Kirk's younger years, where he wasn't quite so brash.
But again, like I said, I have to agree with Carter that I wish we could get a little bit of that. Like have it, like don't overplay it, don't overdo it, but have it there, make it there. You know, when
have him at least have a little bit of personality of a Starfleet captain, you know?
Right. You know, like when he has those conversations with Nudian Singh, you know, have him be a little cocky. You let him be Kirk. Let him be the womanizer in that situation.
Not even that. Give me the Kirk from when she went and when the timeline changed and she originally met Kirk to begin with.
Yes.
Give me
that guy felt
give
like
me
Kirk.
that Kirk.
Yes, he felt like Kirk.
He's still following the rules, but he's also giving his own twist to it.
Yeah.
He's going to follow the rules, but he's going to do it in his own way. And that's what I feel like he's missing. He's so by the book right now that it's not Kirk. For me. And like I said, this is my personal opinion.
I want to know though. I want to know what's in the water on set of Strange New Worlds. Because look at the cast. They're all so fucking gorgeous. Especially the women. That you wouldn't know that half the women in this cast are in their fucking 40s. The only two that are under 40 of the women on this cast
Uhura
are Uhura and Chapel.
Everybody else,
the rest of them are in their 40s.
Yeah, I want to know what's in that goddamn water.
Hint of jealousy?
Yes, actually,
a hint of jealousy because I look 40 now. I'm 28. Okay,
you look 40 since now. I met you.
Yeah, you know how long we've been friends? 5 years, motherfucker.
Are you sure?
It's been about almost that long.
Oh.
4 or 5 years, somewhere in there.
And I'm about the only one who actually looks my age.
What are you trying to say?
You both look
What are you
40.
trying to say, John?
You both look 40.
To be fair, I'm closer to it.
Fair point, but still. I look like
hell
I'm in.
what?
I look like I'm in my
Fucking
like
Hornet.
mid to late 20s, and I am.
No,
I'll be 32 somewhere within the next few weeks, I think.
I got a couple months yet. Matter of fact, I've got 2 months in one day. I got 2 months in one day
for me,
before
I'll
I'm
be
29.
32.
I've got 3
I'll be
months.
29.
I've got 3 months till I turn 27.
Yeah. So but still, they look great for their 40s. Like, I'm sitting over here crushing on La'an and crushing on our helmsman, and I'm like,
Ortegas.
I'm going through the list. I'm like, how old are they? 40? Bullshit. 48?
Rebecca Romaine looks as good as ever.
Chris, we all know the only thing you're crushing is a bag of Cheetos.
Actually, it's Jolly Ranchers, motherfucker.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. La'an's 42. Ortegas is 41. Yeah. Yeah, Rebecca Romaine's pushing 53.
Whereas Chris looks like he should be pushing out his second child.
And Spock's mom, holy shit.
Yeah. So, and what boggles me even more is I was watching Short Treks the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm watching a couple of the Short Treks for Strange New Worlds. And it's the one where a science officer gets her own command of her own starship. Of a science vessel, but, still.
Oh, the whole Tribbles thing?
Yes. I'm sitting there.
That was hilarious.
And I'm like, okay, who plays this science officer? Because goddamn, she could, HR term there. She could HR term there. HR term redacted. And I'm looking at it as 43. She was 43 years old. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
I want to know what's
like
in the water over there.
Late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, I want to know what's in that water, because if I can look like this for the rest of my life, we're set.
I just hope I look half this good at 40. Fuck.
You don't look half that good now.
Fuck you.
There it is. There's the rage baiting.
There's the rage baiting.
That was rage baiting. That was the first time that I've rage baited.
He denied it up until this point.
Because I haven't been rage baiting this entire podcast. That was the first time I've been rage baiting.
I'm going to go back and listen to this fucking podcast and text you everything you said that I swear to God has been rage bait.
Okay, I'll send you the unedited audio, Chris.
Whether or not you believe it is rage baiting does not make it rage baiting. It is merely me expressing my opinion. If you take it as rage baiting, that is upon you. You will know that I am intentionally rage baiting when I go out of my way to say something.
Oh, you two are so cute. You should just fucking get it over with already.
As soon as Hannah says yes.
Yes.
We have made this abundantly clear. If I was
Where's my communications officer? I've got an order to give, God damn it.
At this point in time, there's only one. At this point in time, there's only one person that is above Chris that I would, that as a man, I would marry.
Ryan Reynolds.
Who the fuck is that?
It's my buddy Jared. He's quite literally your body double, just a lot bigger.
Okay, I guess that's fair. I guess that's fair. I mean,
to preface, I've known him since. I've known him since 2012, and he has been through a lot of shit with me.
Well, I mean, at least you didn't say some fuck ass celebrity you'd have no shot at.
No.
The only man I'd marry is Ryan Reynolds, but
John, you're in the low teens.
oh, thank God.
There's still a chance, though.
God damn it.
You're
in the low teens. Oh, thank God.
Think of it like the American
Chris, you are
you're down by where the senators are. Chris is kind of like the Speaker of the House, VP position.
Oh, thank God.
For me to marry you, John, it would have to be a political arrangement.
Oh, dear God.
For nothing else more than the tax benefits is why we would actually do it. Is why I would marry you.
That's fair.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
Anywho.
HR term redacted here and here and here.
Oh yeah, we've already got a trip to the Admiral's office all scheduled out. Yeah.
The last 20 minutes of this podcast has been HR redacted here, HR redacted there.
You can guarantee none of this shit's getting redacted by me. the almighty overlord who edits this shit.
Yeah, sure. Leave it in here. Let us go to the HR.
So, technically, if you think about it in that way, doesn't that make John HR?
Technically, I guess. I am the almighty overlord who edits this shit.
Load photon torpedoes. You'll have all the energy. You'll have all the power you need out of the warp core, Captain.
I knew there was a mole in this group. Yep. I thought it was going to be me.
I thought it was going to be me.
Just because you look like a mole doesn't mean you are the mole.
I will be right back, gentlemen.
Oh shit, don't scare me.
Don't threaten me. Over here looking like Rufus from Kim Possible.
Fuck you. I have more hair than that little shit.
Have you seen the Thunderbolts movie from Marvel yet?
No, I have not.
Do you know? Have you seen the Black Widow movie?
Yes.
Do you remember the Red Guardian, the dad?
Mm-hmm.
That's the vibe I get when I look at you right now.
Very depressing.
No, let me rephrase that. You look like an old Soviet captain. Like you should have a bottle of vodka in one hand. You've got the hair slicked back, the red jacket open.
Oh, him, not me.
Like an old Soviet captain in the military.
You kind of do. I didn't see it until Carter said something.
Set phasers to stun, I guess. We don't want to hurt anybody. We just want to. We don't want to kill anybody. We just want to hurt them a little bit.
There it is.
See, what I was originally comparing him to, but I saved myself, John, was have you seen either the Thunderbolts or Black Widow from Marvel?
I've seen parts of Black Widow. I've not seen Thunderbolts yet.
Have you? Do you know about the Red Guardian, the dad, how he
Oh,
looks?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's Chris.
Oh my God, he does.
Red Guardian.
Holy shit.
Am I wrong, Hannah?
Lieutenant
I'm not a lieutenant right now. I'm your wife.
dismissed.
I will dismiss when I want to dismiss, and right now I don't want to dismiss, so I'm just going to stand here and stare at you.
Dismissed, Lieutenant.
Fine.
Oh, he has my back at least once.
That's the only time he could have your back is once.
HR again. That's actually not going to do.
Oh yeah, because that'd be a real surprise.
It'd only be his, 999th trip to HR?
One more and I get a free T-shirt.
Yeah, that's what I was like. One more and you get the free something.
One more, you get a free T-shirt and a tribunal.
A free T-shirt and a court-martial. Another one. We weaseled our way out of so many. It's hard to keep track.
What are you doing? Marking my third court-martial
this week.
This one's in gold.
Marking my third court-martial this week.
You're not driving a freighter.
Oh man.
I'm on my golden court-martial. What's a golden court-martial? It's when you get your third one. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's when you walk in the room and all the admirals just look at you and go, son of a bitch.
That's funny. I'm on my platinum court-martial.
When you walk in, the platinum court-martial, you walk in, they don't even say anything. They just write on the paper and then dismiss you.
Yeah, our wrists hurt from getting slapped so much.
There are pictures of all three of us. Platinum court-martial. We got
just
to be the aide walking in. We got a platinum court-martial. Who is it? Captain Hudson, Captain Yarborough, and Lieutenant House. Oh fuck.
Oh shit! These dipshits again.
See, you know that somewhere in the HR office there's an actual bulletin board still that has all three of our faces pinned to it, and they use it as a dartboard.
Yeah.
Why
it's not a bulletin board. They have three dartboards that have our faces pinned to them.
They have to go so far archaic. They can't use the phasers anymore because they go through the pictures too fast.
They have to use manual darts.
Earpiece off of my headphone and cabinet where all the food is, so it's not with all the gross. That's under there.
Okay. Here.
What's she bitching about now?
Artie is being a problem. I'll be right back, guys.
I was just like, oh, that sounds like Mad Hannah. That sounds like really Mad Hannah.
No, that's not Mad Hannah. That's Mom Hannah.
Fair. Oh, Lord. Oh. Yeah, no, I definitely want to know the water that they're drinking over on Strange New Worlds, because I want some of that shit.
It's the Fountain of Youth.
It's gotta be at that point, right?
No, that right there is the magic of Hollywood makeup.
No fucking kidding. Well, even like outside of like Hollywood, like if you find just like pictures of them like in their quote unquote natural element or whatever, like they are still, oh my god.
Their natural element. What is this, Discovery Channel? And here we see the wild.
Like, when they're just out and about on the street, they are still, like, gorgeous. Oh my god. It's ridiculous. Like, take a look at any one of their Instagrams, and yeah, they are still freaking, like, it's, what the hell?
Well,
Especially
that's
Laan,
definitely
Christina Chong. Like, she is just,
that's definitely a tagline for a game I didn't think I'd see today.
yeah.
No, I'm scrolling through Facebook on my second monitor, and I'm looking through, and this game comes up. It says, if you're over 35, this game will hook you, and it's just a picture of a woman chained up in a very suggestive position, hogtied basically.
Yeah,
wearing,
I get those all the time.
Wearing almost what looks like the Princess Leia bikini.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, there it is. The first and only comment on this post is kinky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mostly scrolling for Skyrim secrets at this point.
There you go.
I scroll through and I find little the Skyrim shorts, and I use those for to go and get weapons and armor and shit.
Yeah, look at the beta canon page, going back to the Enterprise B. Look at the beta canon page, and you will get a lot more information on the Enterprise B.
And I'm sure, but again, that goes into the problems of unless you're digging into the lore, there's not a lot of information shown about the Enterprise B.
Well, and people, I was about to say, people know about the Enterprise A, and they know about the Enterprise D, so they figured there's got to be some letters in between. So if they did an Enterprise B show, then I think that would drum up some interest.
And I can see a little bit of interest, but it's gonna be a niche group.
I don't think it'll be that niche, though. I mean, people have wanted the Lost Era, like, between generations and the start of the next generation. People have wanted that for years. Years at this point. And even some new fans who are just learning about it are wanting that Lost Era. So I don't think it'd be as niche as you seem to think.
And like I said, it might just be me. This is just my personal opinion.
Right.
Welcome back, Comrade Yarborough.
Thank you. Welcome, not noted. Welcome, yes.
Well, while you were away, Captain, I led a mutiny. You are no longer in charge. You've been relieved of command.
Oh, thank fuck.
I saw that one coming.
I'm gonna have fun with the paperwork.
Have fun with the paperwork.
No. You're. We've had to requisition your quarters as well. You'll now be sleeping with the ensigns down on the crew deck.
Party.
Yeah. I was about to say he can make any one of those, like, yeah, he can make anything like that serve him well.
You will now be in charge of sleeping in front of the warp core.
That actually could be therapeutic, believe it or not. I wouldn't mind sleeping in front of the warp core. Yeah, if it blows, like, he's not really going to know about it.
Oh no!
He won't even have time to get that out. He'll just be like, well, I think we've had a pretty good episode today, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Not looking forward to what I got to take care of when we get off this episode, but that's because my daughter is being a little shit. Don't get me wrong, I get it. She's bored. We've been locked in the house all week. you know, between not having any money to really go anywhere to do anything,
Mm-hmm.
and two, the weather being so cold or so rainy that we can't go to a playground.
Yeah,
I guess she's bored.
we got a shitload of snow in my area today, so I'm like, nope, I'm staying inside. Fuck you guys.
We got a winter storm coming in tomorrow.
Yeah,
Sometime tonight, tomorrow evening, or tomorrow morning, we've got the wintry storm that's coming in.
Yeah, we got a few inches of snow today, so I'm like, nope, I'm staying off the roads because in my area, everybody turns into a moron as soon as anything starts coming out of the goddamn sky. So yeah.
It's kind of funny because all that entire winter storm is going right past me by like 30 minutes, I think.
Mm.
It's not gonna hit right here. It's gonna hit closer towards Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky fuck.
Yeah, I'm looking at the weather. I'm looking at the weather radar right now. It's going curving right above us. If it changes, I'm screwed. But
let it change.
See,
let it change.
We're
let
all
it
worried.
change.
We're all worried because Ted Cruz fled Texas.
Interesting.
Yeah, every time Ted Cruz leaves Texas, we know something bad's about that. Now, granted, we don't live in Texas anymore, but still, you know, the point still stands. He didn't come here. He didn't come to Louisiana.
Yeah.
Well, with that, catch us next time more in depth on Strange New Worlds. Some more hot takes from Captain Hot Take. Some more rage bait from
Lieutenant
Chief
Rage
Engineer
Bait
Rage Bait over there.
Hey,
and
you used my title, sir. It's Chief Engineer Rage Bait. Thank you very much.
I said that.
I'm talking to you. I was talking to him.
Oh, I said Lieutenant Rage Bait, which is technically correct.
I am Chief Engineer Rage Bait. You will put respect on the name, or I will load every torpedo on this ship and shoot them up your tailpipe.
You're still Lieutenant. Still applies. Anyway.
Let's see if I'm still a lieutenant when you're in the cells floated off in space.
Captain Bullshit. Being me. Captain Bullshit. But all right, we'll catch you guys next time. This is Captain Yarbrough signing off.
Captain Hudson signing off.
Lieutenant Junior Great Hout signing off.